For decades, Michael Jackson's bedroom at Neverland Ranch was one of the most private spaces in the world. Only a handful of people ever entered it. His security team, his closest confidants, and his housekeeping staff. The Maids signed strict confidentiality agreements. They were forbidden from talking about what they saw. But after Michael's death in 2009, some started to speak. What they revealed wasn't scandalous. It was heartbreaking, because Michael's bedroom told a story the world never knew. A story about loneliness, about pain, about a man who had everything but felt like he had nothing. By the end of this video, you'll understand why his maids often found him crying, and what they discovered that explains his final years. Michael bought Neverland Ranch in 1987. He transformed it into a private wonderland with an amusement park, zoo, and movie theater. But at the center was his bedroom, a massive 2,000 square foot sanctuary. Very few people were allowed inside. Michael was paranoid about privacy after years of invasive media coverage. But the housekeeping staff had access. They entered several times a week to clean, change sheets, and organize his belongings. And over the years, they saw things. Not scandalous things, but intimate, personal things that revealed who Michael really was when the performance was over. One former maid said, "When you clean someone's bedroom, you learn their secrets. Not the secrets they hide from the world, the secrets they hide from themselves." Michael had a lot of secrets, written in every corner of that bedroom, in every drawer, in every prescription bottle, in every photograph taped to the wall. The maids saw it all. The first thing the maids noticed was the medication. Prescription bottles everywhere, on his nightstand, in his bathroom, in drawers, hidden in closets. One maid counted over 50 prescription bottles during a single cleaning session. Painkillers, sedatives, anti-anxiety medication, sleep aids. Some bottles had fake names, aliases. Michael used to get prescriptions from multiple doctors. Maids would find pills scattered on the floor, empty bottles stuffed in the trash, buried under tissues, like Michael was trying to hide them. But the bathroom was the worst. The counter was covered with medication. Pills in containers, liquids in vials, syringes in medical waste containers. One maid found a handwritten note next to the medication in Michael's handwriting. "Remember to breathe." Just those 3 words. Years later, after Michael died from propofol, a drug that suppresses breathing, that note made horrible sense. Michael knew the medications were dangerous, but he couldn't stop. For Michael, medication wasn't just about pain management, it was about escape. Escape from pressure, lawsuits, allegations, the crushing weight of being Michael Jackson. The maid said Michael would spend entire days in bed, sedated, trying to shut out the world. They'd have to work around him quietly, like caring for a hospital patient, not cleaning the bedroom of the biggest star on the planet. One maid said, "We weren't just housekeepers. We were witnesses to a man slowly disappearing." But the medication wasn't the most disturbing discovery. It was the mirrors. Michael's bedroom had mirrors, but every single one was covered with sheets, towels, fabric taped over the glass. Michael couldn't look at himself. One maid accidentally removed a sheet from a mirror while cleaning. Michael became visibly upset and asked her to cover it back up. "I can't look at it," he said. "Please cover it." This is heartbreaking when you understand the context. Michael spent his entire life being scrutinized for his appearance. His skin, his nose, his hair. Every change was analyzed, mocked, turned into headlines. After so many surgeries, he barely recognized himself, and he hated what he saw. One maid found Michael crying in front of an uncovered mirror, just staring at his reflection, tears streaming down his face. She quietly left. She didn't want to embarrass him, but she never forgot it. The king of pop couldn't stand to look at himself. Michael's body dysmorphia was severe. He saw flaws that didn't exist. He obsessed over details no one else noticed. The maids were instructed never to remove the coverings. It was a standing rule. This is what fame does, what decades of criticism does to a person. It destroys your self-image. Michael could perform in front of 50,000 people, but he couldn't look at himself in a mirror. But it wasn't all dark. Michael's bedroom also revealed something beautiful: the photographs. His walls were covered with personal photos, not glamour shots or album covers. Personal photographs, pictures of his children Prince, Paris, and Blanket, pictures of his mother Catherine, his brothers and sisters performing as the Jackson 5, pictures of children from around the world, kids he'd met at hospitals, kids who'd visited Neverland, kids who'd written him letters. One maid said the photographs were everywhere, taped to walls, pinned to bulletin boards, stacked on his dresser. Michael was surrounding himself with innocence, with love, with reminders of what mattered. Because Michael's relationship with childhood was complicated. He'd been performing since age 5, never had a normal childhood, never got to just be a kid. That loss haunted him. So he surrounded himself with images of childhood, of the innocence he never experienced. The maid said Michael would sit for hours just looking at the photographs, not doing anything else, just looking. One maid found Michael asleep in a chair, a photograph of his children clutched in his hand. The photographs also revealed Michael's generosity, pictures of children he'd helped, kids with terminal illnesses who'd visited Neverland, kids whose medical bills Michael paid. Michael never publicized most of his charity work. He did it privately. And the evidence was all over his bedroom walls. One maid said, "When you looked at those photographs, you understood. This was a man trying to give children the joy he never had. He was trying to heal himself through them." Michael's bedroom was also a studio. He had recording equipment, a mixing board, headphones, microphones. He'd record demos in the middle of the night, singing softly so he wouldn't wake his children. One maid said she'd hear Michael singing while cleaning, his voice carrying through the walls, haunting, beautiful, lonely, the saddest sound she'd ever heard. When Michael performed on stage, his voice was powerful, confident, but alone in his bedroom, it was vulnerable, fragile, almost like a cry for help. The maids found notebooks scattered everywhere, filled with lyrics, musical notations, ideas for songs never recorded. One notebook had "I'm so tired" written over and over, page after page. Michael was tired of performing, tired of being scrutinized, tired of fighting lawsuits and public opinion. But he couldn't stop because music was all he had. One maid found Michael at his keyboard, tears streaming, playing the same melody over and over. She asked if he was okay. He said, "I don't know who I am without the music." But the most heartbreaking discovery wasn't the medication or mirrors or photographs. It was the loneliness. Michael spent most of his time alone. The maids would find evidence of crying tissues on the floor, pillows soaked with tears. Michael had millions of fans, millions who would have done anything to meet him, but he was utterly alone. He'd call down to the kitchen late at night, not to order food, just to talk, to hear another voice. Michael once told a maid, "Everyone wants Michael Jackson, but no one wants Michael." That distinction is everything. People wanted the performer, the icon, but no one wanted the real person underneath. In the months before Michael's death in 2009, the Maids noticed changes. Michael was preparing for his This Is It concert series. 50 shows in London. He was rehearsing constantly, pushing his body to the limit. More medication, less sleep, more exhaustion. His bedroom became even more chaotic. Clothes scattered everywhere, food left uneaten, prescription bottles multiplying. One maid said she knew something was wrong. She could feel it. But what could she do? She was just housekeeping staff. On the 25th of June 2009, Michael died in his Los Angeles mansion. Not at Neverland, he'd been forced to leave years earlier due to financial problems. But the bedroom in Los Angeles told the same story. Medication, isolation, a man at the end of his rope. The Neverland maids weren't surprised when Michael died. They were devastated, but not surprised. They'd seen it coming. They'd seen the signs every time they cleaned his bedroom. A man slowly disappearing, piece by piece. One maid said, "I wish I'd said something, but who would have listened? Who would have believed Michael Jackson needed help?" Everyone assumed Michael was fine, rich, famous, successful. But his bedroom told a different story of pain, addiction, profound loneliness. The maids carried that knowledge for years. The knowledge that they'd witnessed Michael's decline and couldn't stop it. Michael Jackson's bedroom wasn't just a room, it was a window into his soul. And what the maids saw was heartbreaking. A man who couldn't look at his own reflection. A man who needed dozens of medications just to get through the day. A man who surrounded himself with images of childhood innocence because he'd lost his own. They saw loneliness, pain, a human being trapped by fame, but they also saw love in the photographs of his children, in the music he created when no one was listening, in the genuine kindness he showed to people who served him. Michael Jackson was complicated. He was flawed. He made mistakes, but he was also deeply human, and his bedroom proved it. If this story gave you a new perspective on Michael Jackson, if it helped you see him as more than just a headline, subscribe to King of Pop and hit that notification bell. We're dedicated to telling the real stories behind the legends, the human stories. And let us know in the comments, did this change how you see Michael Jackson? Stay tuned for more content. Rest in peace, King of Pop.